What's in your purse, Keisha? Tasha, please. Tasha. I'm sorry.
What's happening, YouTube? Power Episode 8, Deal with the Devil. If you followed my video that I do weekly about what's going to happen, I mentioned 3 people could possibly die. One of them died. I mentioned Tamika was coming back. And I mentioned that this new guy that we saw that looks like Greg Knott's little brother might be doing some dope. Let's discuss. Got my wife with me. Subscribe to her channel. She's a kidney doctor. Y'all know who I am. Check my video description for the Power T. And if you missed my live call-in the other day, Wednesday, me and Larry are going to do it again this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Honey, let's dive on in. First scene, it was Dre and Saxe. Dre was frustrated with Saxe. He wants that ankle monitor off him. What do you think?
Now, this is the Dre that I was looking for when Saxe first put the monitor on his ankle. I thought he was gonna, get mad and basically intimidate him into not putting it on. But this is the Dre that I was looking for. It basically shows you that Dre is, the old Dre is coming back out when we need it to.
Okay, yeah. Wasn't nothing big about that scene, just highlighting that Cooper Saxe ass is getting desperate. Like I said in my prediction video, he wants to get his job back and he's gonna do anything to get it back. Next scene, we see Dre calling Ghost. Ghost basically telling Dre, lose my number. As long as you got the ankle monitor on, lose my number. What do you think was significant about that scene?
This shows me that Dre is about to get desperate, that his back is against the wall. One, Cooper Saxe didn't take the ankle bracelet off like he was demanding that he did. And then you have Ghost basically blowing him off, telling him, I can't work with you while you still have the monitor on. So it makes me wonder, what is Dre about to do to get out of that situation? So he's about to strike, and because he's desperate.
Right. Dre wants to get back in the game. He wants to make that money. By the way, you look really nice today.
Oh, thank you.
Did you put on YouTube makeup or something? Do we need to start a YouTube makeup channel? A YouTube ponytail channel?
No,
something like that?
No.
Okay, I'm just, hey, I got you. Your boy got your back. Next scene, we see Tommy, Cash, and Keisha in the new crib. They're talking about what Cash is having to go through being a young black male in a neighborhood that's not going to have a whole lot of him. What did you think was significance of that scene?
This is just showing me that Tommy is forging a relationship with Cash. So they're building this trust that looks like they're trying to function as a family. It was funny watching all 3 of them together as a quote-unquote family.
Oh.
But it basically just let me know that there's a relationship building between Cash and Tommy.
And you can see Tommy has a soft spot for the youth, just like Ghost. Yeah. Most men, we do tend to have a soft spot for youth when we can get where we want to be at in life. We want to mentor young people. We want to help them out. And you can see this relationship building with Tommy and Cash.
Yeah, and it also showed that Keisha, this is what she asked for. She wanted to be in the suburbs. She wanted to be someplace safer, but it doesn't look like she's happy there.
Exactly. Yeah, she wasn't thrilled about it because she's not used to being out the hood.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Next scene, we see Cooper punk ass Saxe meets up with Tamika. I told y'all she was coming back, and he tells Tamika the truth about what he's been doing and that he's revealed it to Warren. And Tamika drops the epilogue for this whole episode saying you made a deal with the devil. You can't trust Warren, and I mentioned that too. What'd you think about that?
This scene made me nervous because now you got Saxe being desperate.
Yep.
He's facing jail time. He's facing, all these legal issues, and now he's desperate. And we already know how he acts when he's not desperate, when he feels like he has the world in the palm of his hand. So now that his back is against the wall, he's about to become reckless. And who knows how many more people is going to die because he's running scared.
Well, he's been reckless.
He's been reckless, but now he's desperate.
Yeah, now he's desperate.
And reckless. So now it's going to be a mess. Scorched
Earth. That's coming up soon. Next, Saxe rolls up on Tariq at the school and does an illegal questioning of Reek, sneaks in as if he's part of the tour of the school. What'd you think?
I mean, I'm not surprised that Saxe did it.
It's just showing more how desperate his punk ass is.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Reek is wise enough not to share any information.
Yeah. Y'all see Reek growing up. Right before our eyes, whether y'all want to believe it or not, Tariq is growing up. He's learning the game. And some of y'all might be on his side before this whole season is over with. Next scene, Cooper Saxe again rolls up on Keisha, threatening her with the information he has. And it looks like he put a little fear on her face. For y'all to be talking about my girl Keisha can't act, look at her facial expressions. Forget about her butt. Forget about her plastic surgery boobs. Look at her facial expressions. That was some acting right then. What did you think was going on in that scene?
I mean, just like you said, basically what stands out is just Keisha stood her ground. So she wouldn't let him intimidate, even though she was a little spooked on the inside, she's not letting him intimidate her into giving him the information that he wants or working with him.
Right. Next scene, Tariq is in school, his new school, and he meets up with the teacher that I showed y'all from the trailer. And the first thing I said to my wife was, this teacher looked like a cokehead.
You did.
Or he looks desperate. He's got a stressed look on his face.
Yeah, very disheveled.
And then we come to find out the teacher knows about Tariq. He's been studying Tariq. He knows Tariq got kicked out of school because of drugs. Who could have ratted on Reed? Who you think told him?
Right. First person pops to mind is Effie.
Yeah. Effie is who I thought about.
Yeah.
But the way this show is going, it might not even be Effie.
Yeah, it might not be.
It could be the white dude. You know what I'm saying?
Or you just have connections within the school. Teachers talk just like everybody else do. So,
exactly.
So
yeah, teachers talk and teachers screw too. Believe me, I know. Next scene, this is your girl. Kate Egan pops up knocking on Lakeisha's door. She gets in there and she drops the bomb on Keisha and says, Tommy choked Holly with her bare hands. And then what was funny to me was how Kate Egan is gonna put her picture in front of Cass' picture. I think that was highlighting something coming up. What'd you think about that scene?
Well, Kate is coming back to reclaim her throne as the #1 woman in Tommy's life. You wouldn't expect her to act any other way in that situation.
Right.
This is the first time you saw Keisha kind of stand up to her and tell her, basically they're fighting over Tommy. And the question is Tommy's mother going to win out or is Keisha going to win out? Right.
And we've seen how this is going in the past.
And the way his mama, she already forewarned him. People who try to get rid of me or women who try to get me out of his life, they're floating down the river somewhere, like she said. And so we'll see. I love Kate.
Yeah, we do like Kate. This is a Kate Egan house, Kate Egan. If you watch any of these reviews, hit us up. You can come have dinner with us. We'll treat you right. You ain't even got to worry about nothing in the Tyson house. Next scene, Reek and Tasha are talking about Reek in the new school, his drugs. She's teaching him the game. She's making him an employee of the daycare. And Reek lets her know that Keisha told Tommy that he took the drugs. And that's when I first seen Tasha's wheels rolling about, damn, this Keisha thing might not work out. What'd you think was the significance of that scene?
When they first flashed to the scene, I just thought the whole thing was ridiculous. I had to stop myself and remind myself just to go with it, get into the flow of the story, because them having a conversation, again, I'm still not down with her training Tariq on how to be in the game. And so just watching the whole back and forth between the two of them, I thought was it was
with this boy still being in high school, right?
Exactly.
And then to highlight what you were saying and what a lot of the subscribers have said about not helping Tariq get in the game, the grandma walks in, sees a stack of money on the table, sees Tariq, instantly knows Tasha is helping teach Reek the game, and said that the only thing that's going to save you and Reek is Jesus.
So you got both mamas popping back up on the show. I like Tasha mama too. Mamas bring the drama and they're entertaining to watch, and they also have a lot of knowledge that both of their kids aren't listening to. Right. So Tommy's mama's advice is relevant for him, and Tasha's mama's advice is relevant for her. Yeah. That's
what kids go through. Some people feel like, or I've heard kids say before, I need to make the mistake so I can learn it. But most parents be like, just take my advice. I've been there. You don't need to make the same mistake. Hell, we got books out here trying to teach you how to do things the right way before you make the mistake, right?
Right.
And that's what these parents are both trying to do with their children, but the children ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah. And the one other thing is that Tasha is letting Tariq guide her or give her, basically Tariq's big idea. So his bright idea in this scene was, I think my teacher might be a good person to sell drugs for us. And Tasha like, okay, well, you need to look into that. That's ridiculous. Now you know
that's unrealistic.
Tariq, yeah, it's very unrealistic. Tariq, she knows Tariq is wet behind the ears and doesn't know the game.
Wet.
And you letting him come up to you with this bright idea of letting my teacher. How do you know what cues did he have to read into this guy to know that he might be a good person to sell drugs for them?
Well, if I looked at the guy and thought he was a crackhead, I'm sure Reek saw the same thing.
He said not just using, but maybe selling too.
And the other clues that he's looking into Reek, he knows Reek sold drugs and ain't really go tell nobody else or go, say something to administration. That might give Reek the idea that there's a chance this guy might either be using or dealing.
Okay, and both. And so you can't sell if you're using.
Plus, Reek need a premiere that can make him some money.
Okay.
And this
just seemed far-fetched to me, but we just rock with it if that's how they writing the story.
Next scene, Reek and Ghost meet up at the QCP. Reek just really showing up for the check. He don't care that Ghost is saying, I'm going to put you a basketball court in here. I'm going to do this. You part of the legacy. Reek don't care. Then Reek lets Ghost know that, what's going on with Keisha and all that stuff. And Ghost's wheels is turning now too. But at the end of that scene, Ramona comes in and Reek looks at her, like I said in the trailer, bitch please, and tells Reek that you can be anything just like your daddy. What did you think was the significance of that? For me, Tariq, this is gonna be your stepmama.
Oh goodness. And Tariq had a look in his eye like he was about to play with her in that scene. Because he did bring up thought you got to do a background check.
Right.
And Ghost got a little uncomfortable and tried to hush Tariq up.
Right.
The other thing just made me sick is how Ghost is just groveling and trying to get back into Tariq's good graces. That whole initial scene where Tariq basically don't have the time of day for him. But
other than the money.
But yeah, other than the money. And he makes it very clear. And Ghost is still, I want you to be my son. I want basically begging him to like him again. Which I think I don't like it.
Yep. Next scene, that punk ass Cooper Saxe just pops up at Rodriguez's house and we find out that Rodriguez fellas has a nice wife and Cooper Saxe wants to get all up in it. And we'll find out why he wanted to get up in it later. But they go ahead and reveal that Reek is the one who really took the ashes as Kanan using the fake ID because Rodriguez done pulled the tape. What did you think was significant about that? Other than showing off another hot Latina.
They're basically fitting the pieces together on how they're going to end up taking down the whole dynasty, basically.
They could have said that was a deal with the devil. Rodriguez making a deal with Cooper Saxe.
Potentially.
They could have used that as the deal with the devil.
Yeah.
I thought that was significant because you've got a guy who, he has no anchors. Cooper Saxe, he has nothing over nobody's head, really, except for Dre. And now that he's basically turning her over to Rodriguez, he ain't got no skin in the game. People can just use him like a fuddy-duddy if they want to. That's what I saw from that one. Next scene, Rodriguez meets with Dre, tells that Tariq went for Ray, and she makes a deal with Dre, and Dre basically like, you get this ankle monitor off me, I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. What'd you think about that scene?
Dre is doing what Dre does.
Right.
In whatever situation that presents itself to him where he's able to better himself or better his situation, he's going to use it. So this is another way for Dre to get out of a sticky situation. Right.
Next scene, we see Tate talking to Ramona. He's getting ready to do a debate. We've never seen the candidate until now. It's a white lady. And what was that lady that you said that was doing the interview from, she's on The View a lot? I don't know her name. You said she's a lawyer.
And I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay, well, forget it. Anyway, we see her talking to the other candidate. And they asked that candidate, well, what is your diversity plan? People in New York want to know what your diversity plan is. Later on, we find out what the diversity plan is. But in this particular scene, Ghost walks in with the guy that Tate has been screwing his wife, and they turn that mic on, and Ghost clearly wanted it to happen. When did the turn come from Ghost versus Tate?
Right. That came out of the blue for me. Initially, I thought Ghost wasn't in on it until he looked at
and smiled.
Looked at the old campaign manager and smirked at him. So I don't know where that flip came either. Like,
I know where it comes from.
What?
From what I've been telling y'all the whole season, Ghost is going to be a politician because he got Ramona draws wet as a leaky faucet. Oh, my bad. Oh, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, I'm done.
Okay, never mind. Next scene, Reed follows his teacher and waits for the teacher to leave, goes in the classroom, goes through his stuff, finds out that his teacher parents was in a Ponzi scheme. One parent is dead, the other one is in jail, and he's backed up on bills. Then he goes and gives that information to Tasha, and they talk about getting in good with the teacher. I know you don't like none of that.
No, it's still so far-fetched. Like I said, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Okay. Next scene, Ramona asked Tate to drop out because of that hot mic situation. And y'all know Tate ain't gonna go out like no sucker. He was like, nah, I'm not getting out. So they say, let's call a public forum. Me and Ghost talk about the QCP. We're gonna launch that. What did you think was the significance of that scene?
So basically, Ramona is doing what we thought she was going to do all along. Mm-hmm. She sees a path for James St. Patrick to be a great politician.
Not to mention, she talks about how the lieutenant governor the opponent wants Ghost to come on her ticket to be the lieutenant governor. Mm-hmm. That was her diversity plan.
Right, right. So she sees a path for Ghost, and she's about to try to basically push him. So she's behind him to become a politician.
Right.
But then Tate did sneak in, like, you know, you really don't know
who
you dealing with.
And now Ramona's heard this twice. She's heard it from Reed, and now she's heard it from Tate.
Right.
So I'm sure her radars is going to be up, and that's when Ghost's going to have to put that hammer down to get her radars back down.
But she has on blinders.
She does.
Yeah, she does have on blinders for Ghost, and so it shouldn't take this many hints for her to stop and start thinking like maybe something is off with him.
What he got
and start
going
doing
on.
A little digging in the background. But
hey, when you wet down there, you ain't thinking about nothing else. Next scene, Cash and Keisha get pulled over by Rodriguez, and this chick is playing dirty. Now she brings protective services to Tate, Cash, and she makes Keisha sign paperwork as a witness, which is illegal. You can't do that without a warrant, but she done it anyway. Did you think Keisha was gonna sign it over so quick? And the one thing that stood out to me was Cash is crying. Horrible. That little boy in the back, them was the biggest crocodile tears I ever seen in my life. But what did you think?
Well, he had to turn it up for us. This happened very quickly. And I guess if there was one way to flip Keisha that fast, it would have to be them dangling her son in front of her. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it happened real fast.
Right.
In that one scene where she basically signed paperwork and the deal is on, that seemed a bit quick.
It was fast, man. But I mean, that's how Blanca worked, man. Blanca ain't playing. Blanca want this deal.
Blanca been popping up all over. She put in the work this episode.
Yeah, Blanca
She talked to almost every single person in the ring in one episode.
So for those of y'all that don't like her voice, y'all had to deal with that crusty voice.
Her voice is fine.
This episode.
Her voice is fine.
Next scene, we see Ramona and Ghost talking. Ramona's dropping the bug on Ghost that this other lady wants you to be her lieutenant governor. But this is when we start seeing Ramona saying things like, Ghost, can I trust you? Mm-hmm. What'd you think about that?
Oh, of course you can trust me, Ramona. And she trusts him blindly.
Yeah. She's trusting a lot of things that her body is doing blindly when it deals with Ghost. Next scene, Cash and Tommy at the basketball court, and that was so awkward seeing Tommy in there with those preppy parents dropping off Cash. But Cash drops the dime that they got pulled over by the police, and Tommy did not look thrilled. What did you think about that one?
And this goes back to the initial scene between Tommy and Cash, when Tommy was building this rapport with the little boy and telling him, you know, I want you to be able to tell me anything, especially if it's dealing with the police and if you have any problems. So that's what that initial scene was for, and this is how it played out.
Yep. Then it careens into the very next scene where Tommy is back home with Keisha, and this is the scene from the trailer where he scares her because he's frustrated she's not telling him the truth about what happened with the pullover. And then she just whispers sweet nothing into his ear, and he falls for that surgically enhanced butt and gets weepy all over again. What'd you think about that scene?
He didn't fall for her butt. he fell for her deep devotion.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Deep devotion to him. He looked like he was about to melt for real.
He did.
When she said, he was like, and you're still here. Tommy just wants somebody to love and to love him for who he is.
Right.
He, said, I've changed, Keisha. I'm not the same person. And he's just so happy that I guess his mama wasn't able to chase another woman out of his life.
Right. Yep. That was big in that scene too, because he turned his back and was about to be angry that Keisha knew that the truth about Holly, and she was like, I'm gonna ride or die for you, Tommy.
Right.
When she lied through her teeth.
Exactly.
Just lying. She, as I said in the video, if she had to choose between Tommy and Cash, she choosing her son, and I was right again.
As she should.
So for all y'all that love to get in my comments and talk about when I'm wrong, can y'all talk about when I'm right?
One other thing. Now, this also makes you wonder what's going to happen to the relationship between Tommy
and Cash.
And not Cash, Tommy and his mother.
Oh.
So he was a little bothered that his mother went and told Keisha that he had killed Holly.
Right.
And so now when he sees his mother, like, what is that going to do?
How's that relationship?
Yeah. How's it going to affect their relationship dynamics?
Next scene, Reek teacher open up his trunk and see the cell phone and the drugs in there, and he get the text message. And I know this is just bothering you because it's like, how realistic is this? This teacher don't know him from a hill of beans. He don't know where the drugs came from.
Exactly.
And then he rose up and see Tariq and say, did you put that in there? And Tariq's like, what you talking about? What'd you think?
Yeah. Again, another far-fetched situation. You just gonna open up your trunk and you see drugs magically appear, and you're supposed to sell these drugs and drop the money for somebody you have no idea who it is.
Right.
You don't know if it's the police. You don't know who.
Well, desperate times call for desperate. That man had bills. You see that bill?
Yeah, he did.
He had bills, man. He had bills. And when you got bills like that, this country don't help everybody. Next scene, Tommy calls Ghost saying they need to take out Saxe. And Ghost is like, nah, dudes, chill. Then the very next scene, Rodriguez pops up at Ghost with Truth. And the significance of that scene, she winds up taking that cup illegally for DNA. So that Rodriguez is dirty. Now, what'd you think about that scene?
Was it illegal?
She can't just take his cup. That's stealing.
I get it wasn't in the trash, right?
It's stealing.
It wasn't in the trash.
No, it was not in the trash.
Okay.
She stole it.
Okay.
That's illegal seizure.
You're right.
Yep. Keep it going.
So initially, I was wondering, what is she going to use that for? Like, how are they going to tie this in? Because they already have his fingerprints. They already have this other stuff on Ghost because he's been in the system. So what does she need that for?
Yep.
It also revealed that she knows that the cop that she initially started investigating was
Ray
dirty.
Ray.
Yeah, she knew Ray was dirty.
Right.
Initially, I didn't know that. I thought she was, investigating the death of one of her noble colleagues, and she didn't realize that he was dirty, but she did.
Yep. Next scene, we see Keisha making plans to go to Wit's set. We knew this was coming. You knew Keisha was gonna choose her son over Tommy, and it was just a matter of how it was gonna go down. It wasn't nothing significant for that for you, was it?
I didn't initially. I thought Keisha signed the papers because she was in a bind.
Right.
And so you didn't know whether or not she was going to go back and try to plot with Tommy how to get out of the situation. She just wanted to get cash back in her possession at the time. So I still didn't know which way she was going to go. Right.
Okay. Next scene, Tommy and Ghost hook up because Ghost knows the truth about Saxe being on leave. And they're gonna kill him, but they pop up in Saxe's crib. My man is sitting there masturbating to two Latina lesbians. Did y'all see, boy, that Cooper Saxe, that punk ass Cooper Saxe? And then they proceed to tying him up, beating him up, and y'all know I love every second of seeing punk ass Cooper Saxe get worked over. But in the end, Ghost, being the boss that he is, decides it's better to keep him alive because he's an informant on the inside, whereas Tommy wanted to kill him, and Ghost said, Tommy, you owe me one. What'd you think about that scene?
I was laughing at Tommy getting a little nervous while Saxe was running his mouth, telling all Tommy business.
Right.
So he was trying to convince Ghost, basically, you need to be taking out Tommy because he took out Angela. He was just basically running his mouth too much, and Tommy was looking nervous. So.
Yep. Next scene, Blanca Rodriguez is trying to show off to Warren, who felt, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we can trust him, as Tamika said. But she's basically telling him she's got this cup. It's 50% DNA of James St. Patrick, which means Tariq was at that scene with Ray Ray. And she's also telling her that they got Dre, who's going to drop the bomb on Cooper Saxe being dirty. And that's music to Warren's ears. What'd you think about that scene?
Basically just setting it up so they can end up going after Tariq. This also dispels some of the theories that you were all saying that maybe Kanan was actually Tariq's father. So half of his DNA is from Ghost.
Good point. Good point. Yep. Next thing we see, Rodriguez takes off the monitor on Dre because Dre is going to give her the information that she needs, basically implicating Tariq. What do you think was significant in that? Now Dre can go and sell drugs. Is he going to call Ghost back and say that? He can't call Ghost back. He might try to meet up with Jason somehow on his own, but how can he call Ghost back and say, I got the monitor off? Is he going to lie?
Well, he did get the monitor off. What do you mean?
Well, Ghost is going to want to know how you got the monitor off. Meaning that the police had to take it off of you.
True.
What did you have to give the police to get that monitor off of you?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was that scene.
But knowing Dre, he'll come up with something. If he really wanted to get back in with Ghost, he would come up with something to get back into his good graces, because Dre can make it happen.
Yep. Next scene, we see Tasha and Ghost talking on the phone. Ghost tells Tasha that Tariq is the one that took the ashes and that the feds is about to roll up on Keisha over the whole tie-in to the Ray Ray story. What you think? Now, see, I already knew Keisha was, little radars was going up. I mean, Tasha radars was going up about Keisha in the first place. Did this solidify that for you?
It definitely did. You basically know something's about to happen. Like, Tasha's about to get after somebody to try to protect her quote-unquote baby. Yeah. And it's annoying also that Ghost is still doing everything in his power to protect Tariq as well.
Because that's his baby boy.
That's not his boy. That's not his baby boy. Not anymore.
He's a grown, he think he's a grown man now, huh?
That's Kanan's baby boy.
Exactly. Next scene, and this chick is working hard on this episode. Blanca Rodriguez shows up at Tasha's door, tells her that she's got the DNA information, putting Tariq there, letting her know that Keisha's about to come drop the beans. What'd you think was significant about that?
She didn't say Keisha. She said they had someone, right?
Well, I guess you know Tasha know. She ain't had to tell her who. Yeah, you know Tasha know.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that was dumb on Blanca's part. You basically putting Keisha on blast. And so basically it didn't take much for Tasha to put two and two together. Right.
Next scene, we see Ghost finally meet up with Tate. They supposed to have had that press conference. He gets there, Tate drinking and mad, and the press is gone, and he tells him, no QCP for your punk ass, Mr. Ghost. And Ghost gives him that look. Anytime Ghost gives somebody that look, they have pretty much died. You think he's gonna take out Councilman Tate?
He gonna do something to him. Either he gonna,
Because all the grief about his daughter was tied into that QCP.
Right.
All his feeling, everything was in. That was going to be his way to get over his daughter dying, and Councilman Tate has taken that away from him.
Right.
So he's going to take something from Councilman Tate. Or he
thinks he's taking it away from him. Yeah, basically Councilman Tate, he's going to pay for that.
He's going to pay.
Yeah.
He's going to pay with his ass.
And I don't know if he's going to pay in death or if he's going to pay in some other type of life turmoil, torment.
Ghost's going to take chunks out of that butt. You can cool believe that he going to beat him like Kunta Kinte. Ghost going to get him. You can cool believe that, Jack. Next scene, Warren and Saxe meet up. Basically, Saxe gets fired by Warren officially, but Warren's still playing like he's a good guy. But I'm telling y'all, don't trust him. And he's telling Saxe, if you come up with this information you talking about, maybe I'll apologize to you. What did you think was significant about that scene?
Again, Saxe is desperate. And it makes you wonder, what is he going to do? What is he going to do, and who is he going to get killed? That's all I thought.
Right. He's still desperate. Now we get into the climax of this episode, and it was a decent episode. Tommy has cash. He's at the mall, just kicking it. At this point in time, we're kind of thinking, we don't know what to believe why Tommy has cash when y'all know Keisha's making plans to escape. When Tasha St. Patrick rolls up to Keisha's house, knocks on the door, and is basically saying, you about to be an informant, blah, blah, blah. And Keisha's gonna look her in the face and say, I got a plan.
She did have a plan.
Tasha's looking around like, what's your plan? You about to leave? But what she don't know is she's going to Witset.
Right.
Tasha is thinking she's leaving, going to Italy, like she's just going to disappear off the planet.
Right.
But Keisha know in her heart she's going to Witset, she's going to tell everything, is what she's thinking, but that ain't what Tasha is thinking.
Right.
What did you think was going on with that scene?
Oh, in the initial part of the scene when Tommy was out shopping with Cash, I thought he was pulling a Tariq.
Yeah.
Basically keeping Cash busy while somebody go to the house to kill Keisha.
Right.
So I was a little nervous. Even though I'm not all that crazy about Keisha, I was still nervous on that part.
Right.
Then Tasha shows up. They have their little argument.
In between that, they cut back to a scene where you see Tommy buying an engagement ring. He let Cash pick it out.
Right.
And then they continue to go through the scene where they start fighting. And what happened in the fight?
The first fight scene between... Is this the first time we've seen two women fight in the...
No, it's not the first time two women fight, but it's the first time you've seen them fight.
Yeah. So the first time you see... Well, basically Tasha fighting with anybody. And so basically... I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings on this.
So as the fight progressed, ladies and gentlemen, Tasha's like, no, I'm not letting you go through with this plan. Then she catches Keisha looking at her bag. They run for the bag. They start tussling and fighting. They grab the gun. And then all of a sudden, Keisha gets shot. Now, Tasha being the gangster that she is, she saw when Keisha got shot. Keisha got shot in her surgically enhanced fake breast, meaning that she's not going to die from that. So Tasha in G form takes that gun.
Bullets go through surgically enhanced breasts.
Yes, but they slow them down so they don't get to the deep tissue. So Tasha decides, I'm going to shoot you in the head and we're going to end this all together. Fellas, I know y'all are mad. Y'all not going to see them hind parts swishing like a washing machine no more. But if you want to see that, she is on the shy. Tell me how you felt about Keisha dying.
I have mixed feelings, and I'm pissed that it was Tasha that did it.
Why?
I mean, if you think about their family, I guess you know she's that's in her personality,
right?
Or she has it in her. But I was bothered. I was bothered. I wanted it to be somebody else. I didn't want it to be Tasha.
The fact that you were bothered means that the writing achieved what they needed to achieve. It wasn't predictable. You had deep emotional feelings about it, whether they're good or bad. The writers achieved what they needed to achieve in this episode, and I'm glad they did.
You expect it from other people, but I wouldn't have expected it from Tasha.
And this is Tasha's first kill, if I ain't mistaken.
And this makes me not really care for her too much. So one strike that she got was her trying to teach her son how to run the game. And then this strike, she's showing me a whole nother face inside of her, where she's killing her quote-unquote friend that's been riding with her.
So what happened is you was all on Tasha's side when Angela was alive and Ghost was trying to put his family back together. And you was just like, hell no, Tasha, do your own thing, Tasha. Now all of a sudden you turning on T2.
Yeah, and that's how this show makes me. I guess that's why it's so good.
That's exactly why the writers.
Their characters are so dynamic that one minute you love them, the next minute you hate them, the next minute you rooting for them, the next minute you couldn't care less about them. And so right now, me and Tasha are on the outs. I don't really care for her too much.
Final season has definitely been better than Game of Thrones final season. That's for sure. And the very last scene, Tommy and Cash pull up. Tommy knows something done happened in the house, makes Cash stay in the car, and he goes in and see Keisha with a bullet in the head. He drops his ring. The questions I have about this is, what is Cash gonna think? Is Cash gonna think Tommy did it? What's gonna happen to Cash? You've got a whole lot of kids who have lost their parents in this show that are probably gonna go to the spinoff with vendettas. Honey, give us your final thoughts.
One thing that's still looming for me is Tommy going to be happy about the kill? And I say that because when he learns that Keisha was about to leave him and flee, is he going to be happy? I mean, is he going to be, relieved that Tasha or whoever he feels did it?
Well, Tasha took the paper that Keisha signed.
Right.
So she's probably, and she got the gun.
Right.
So she's probably going to be the one to show it to Tommy.
Right.
And it's just going to really be a matter of, Is she going to be able to calm his ass down and have him realize that, look, she was about to throw us all under the bus. I've got the paperwork. Look at it, Tommy.
Right.
Or is he going to be so mad, kill T, and then see the paperwork and be like, damn, I really messed up.
Right.
That's the question. So
yeah, I'm bothered by this episode. I'm sorry. I'm on the fence. Don't know whether I liked it, whether I didn't like it, but
she liked it, and if it's got you bothered, you liked it too. The writers achieved what they needed to achieve. Be sure to catch me and Larry for our live talk this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Power won't come back on till October 27th, but y'all know y'all still got me and some other YouTubers to keep the story going. Until then, drop us all your comments. Any closing words, honey?
no.
You're done?
I'm done.
Well, you look very nice on this episode. Your ponytail was on fleek.
Oh. Okay.
That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like our video. Please comment, subscribe, go get yourself a life gain. Check out my Power t-shirt if you want one. Link is in the video description. Until that next sexy as hell video, we'll see you.